Today, let's make a wooden whistle. Okay, I'll show you how I make these whistles, and there was quite a lot of experimentation that went on. First, I start with a dry branch. Just go out and pick up an old dead branch that's sort of straight, and then I use this drawing knife here to get the bark off. And sometimes it'll be so pretty that that's all you need to do is just peel the bark off. Now I cut the end straight, and that's what it looks like. And now we'll lay it down and measure out. I've come up with these particular measurements for the 3-note whistle. So after you mark it, then you'll cut it off again, and that will be your whistle right there. And now we're going to take a 3/4 inch drill bit and drill a hole right down the center of that piece of branch there, almost to the end. And I've got a little dowel right here that I've marked so I know when I'm deep enough. But I have mistakenly drilled to the end where it poked out through the end, and that works okay anyway, because you're going to drill a hole in the end of that piece of wood there anyway. But I like to stop, about an inch from the end or so. And now I'm going to decide where I want to put this airway. So I'll mark what will be the top of the whistle and where I'll cut the window in. Next, I'll lay out the measurements for the window. And so I'm going to measure up 3/4 of an inch and make a mark, and then make a mark at 1.5 inches, and then at 3.5. This is where I'll cut in that window. So the first thing you do is you make a straight cut, and you'll have to look down inside, and when it comes through the hole that you drilled on the inside a little bit, then you can start to cut your 45-degree cut. And this is what it's going to look like when you get it done. You've got a straight cut and then this angled 45-degree cut. Alright, now we're going to take this 3/4 inch dowel and stick it in our hole that we've drilled. Now adjust the dowel so it comes right to where the window starts, and then mark it a little bit long, and this will give you something to hold on to when you put the dowel in later, when you glue it in. Now we're going to cut the airway, and I found the easiest way to do it is with my jackknife. And you need this flat airway on the top of this piece of dowel here. And I usually go over to my sander and I'll sand it nice and even and flat there. And you'll experiment with how much of that dowel that you want to make be the airway. If you get it too big of an airway, it won't whistle. You have to get it just right. Now I test it out, and when I get it so it makes the best sound, I mark it right there. So when I go to glue it in, I know how far to push that airway in there. Okay, now I'm going to drill this hole, and this is the trilling hole where you're going to put your finger to make the note. Then you drill a hole through the end, and that'll be another note. So when you go to play this tune, you will start with open, then you'll put your finger down on the first hole, and then your finger down on the second hole. So you've got 3 notes. And there we go. We did the countersink. That just makes it feel better. You can feel that hole with your finger when you're playing. Okay, so we test mi, re, do. You remember do, a deer, a female deer. Well, this is going to play mi, re, do. Mi, re, do. Okay, now it's time to glue in the 3/4 inch dowel. And so this Gorilla Glue says that you should dampen the wood with some water before you apply the glue. So that's what we'll do here. We'll dampen this wood. Now when you put that Airway in there, you have to line it up so that it will be nice and straight on top. I learned that the hard way. You can't have it in there crooked. So after you spread the glue around here, I usually use that piece that I chipped off with my jackknife. I use that to spread that glue out. You don't want to get that Gorilla Glue on your hands. That will turn your hands black, and it takes forever to scrub it off. I also learned that the hard way. Alright, now we'll put this Airway in, and you can see I'm lining it up so it's right on the top. It has to be adjusted so that it lines right up with that window. Sometimes you have to hit it with a hammer a little bit to get it in there. And I got it too far, so we'll back it out a little bit. And there we go. That looks pretty good. Now it helps to understand how the whistle makes a sound. This will help you to engineer it and put it together. In order for sound to happen, something has to vibrate. And in this case, it's going to be your air. Now when you blow in the end of the whistle, your air is directed down that airway, some people call it a windway, and it strikes the edge of the hole right there. So as you blow in the whistle, your air goes down to the end of the tube and then returns, and it hits the air that's coming in, and that causes it to vibrate, and that's what makes that sound. Now I've made several kinds of whistles. This is called the warbler. It just has one hole, and as you blow down through that thing, you can wiggle your finger and it'll change the pitch and make a warble sound. This is one of the 3-note whistles. It has 2 holes drilled in it, just like the one we just made. Alright, so the next day, after that glue is set up good, I come up and I cut that end off. There we go. Now you're going to blow through that little slit there, that little airway is where you're going to blow. Here's the bigger one, so we'll cut that excess off from there. And it'll leave that little slit there where you can blow. Now after I get the whistles all finished, I apply a coat of this mineral oil. This is food grade mineral oil because people are going to be putting this thing up to their mouth, so you want something that's food grade. And the mineral oil works just great. This will protect the whistle and keep it from cracking, and it makes it look better. It kind of darkens the wood down, and you've noticed I've done some wood burning on the whistles, and it'll make that wood burning stand right out. So here we are. Speaking of wood burning, this is the tool I used. I started out with a very inexpensive wood burner, but I soon realized that you need one where you can regulate the temperature. And right here's where you can dial in just the right temperature, make it as hot as you need it. And every wood that you work on is going to be different. Some is soft wood, some is hard. You can switch that switch, and that switches between the 2 handsets. Now I really like this outfit because it fits your hand good, and you as you grip it, you're close to the piece you're working on, and it's easy to take these ends out there. They give you all kinds of these ends. Some are pointed, some are flat, some are just a piece of wire, some have a ball end, and so you can choose the tip that you want to use for your project. And this is what those tips look like. So here's how I go about doing the wood burning. And I sped up the video here, as you can see. But it's kind of fun to do wood burning. I've done this for a long time, and the first thing I do is draw the bird onto whatever piece of wood I'm going to wood burn, and then I just follow the lines that I've drawn. So that's the pointed tip right there. Now I put in the flat tip, and I can kind of color in where I want to and add some texture to the bird. And again, by dialing that temperature, you can get your tool just the way you want it. That's another whistle I called warble or tweet. So there you go. Make yourself a warbler or a 3-note whistler or carve up a whistle. Just have fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe. See you next time, my friends. Bye-bye.